there's a question or a self-imposed block that keeps coming up for lots of people. So I want to bring it to everyone. And what it comes down to is this objection or this limitation that says, I feel like I'm so close to something, but I can't figure out what it is. I can't figure out what's in the way of me realizing my true nature. And then with a little digging, we find out that we're stuck in this experience. There is a being stuck in seeking mode. And how does this happen? Well, something happens in life that causes things to be shaken up, causes me to say, what I thought the world was, it is not. And I need to get a better grasp of what it is so that I can feel better. So these external things that I've been trying to make myself happy with are not making me happy. I need to go find something else to make me happy. So what we've done is we've taken the old egoic model, the conditioned way, the societally conditioned way of making oneself happy, and we're now applying it to so-called spirituality. We're saying I have to go on a journey. A journey implies this idea of the passage of time, like it's going to take decades to figure this thing out. So okay, I buy 7 books at one time and I'm going to read all of these, and within these 7 books there's going to be an answer. Oh, I've read these 7 books, I meditated, I felt a little better, but there's this emptiness that I can't really figure out. So now I'm going to go on a retreat, or I'm going to talk to this teacher personally, because there's going to be some vibration that's going to be transmitted that's going to solve my life. That did not work. Why doesn't that work? Because I must be broken. Something must be wrong with me. I must not be here this time to awaken. I must be here to suffer and to take on the pain of other people and to just fulfill this role in the illusion. And that's what I've decided I'm going to do. So all of this is rooted in duality, is rooted in the solidity of things, of the appearance of things. And this limits the power that consciousness has over the energy that emanates out of it. In a non-solid world made of energy, affected by mind, and mind is affected by the attention placed on it, ultimately, consciousness, awareness, God, is in charge of all of this, and that is outside of the ability to understand from this filtered perspective, from this vessel, or at least while ego identified. Let's back up. As long as I identify as ego, as long as there is identification with ego in this human experience, reality is going to reflect that. Small, simple example. If I don't believe in Reiki, Reiki won't believe in me. Nothing's going to happen. Even less energy focus. If I go get a massage and I lay down and I say, I better get my money's worth, I won't. Because I won't relax. My lack of relaxation is reflected in the body's refusal or blockage to heal itself as long as the mind is contracted. Take this idea, expand it out. I want to awaken. I really want to awaken, and I want it to happen with minimal interference with the status quo. I want to awaken without interference to my current relationships, to my job that I don't like, or my job that's harmful to other people. I want that to stay the same. Or on the flip side, I want everything in my life to change. But I also want that to happen from a place of contentment. All of this points to the paradoxical unfolding of ego trying to grasp that which it was never designed to grasp, or mind. A calculator trying to understand a personal computer, or a calculator trying to understand the infinite. The more we understand the mind to be something rather mechanical and in itself inert, like dead, like not alive within itself, just a process. The more it's seen to be true, the more it's all seen to be ones and zeros, chaotic cause and effect. And the less we can cling to that. But while we do still cling to it, we say we're coming from the perspective of only having ever experienced limited and short-lived and conditional happiness. I think conditional happiness is a paradox, but we have these little breakthroughs of happiness through the conditions. There's no reason according to the mind to believe in something beyond that. So we say, if I can only be so happy or so peaceful in this experience, I might as well forget it, get a good job because that's how I'm told that I can be happy. I'll get a good job so I can buy things to make myself comfortable. Well, shit. Now I have this job gives me a headache. I can't even enjoy my new boat. I have these migraines all the time. How am I supposed to relax? When we're ready, when we are ready to fully invest in knowing ourselves over some collectively created idea of succeeding in this illusion, we will care more about knowing ourselves than about other people appreciating or understanding or loving us. We will be for ourselves that appreciation, that love, or at least we will know that we are that, and we will invest our energy and attention into that. So instead of this idea of I'm going to read all these books, I'm going to memorize these quotes, I'm going to master these koans, I'm going to wear specific clothing, join and rise in a hierarchy, gain and then manage a new spiritual ego. There's really something very simple and timeless going on right here and now. Prior to thought, prior to sensation, is the effortless registering of experience by awareness that I really am, that you really are. It's one and the same. effortless registering of experience before the mind has time to place labels and conditions on the experience. So if it appears very challenging to inhabit only this present moment, the root of that has been the avoidance of the present moment in the past. So when we start saying, this moment isn't good enough, I'm checking out, I am suppressing my emotions, I am ignoring my body's signals to take care of it or to relax or to rest. When we ignore that, we start forming a pattern of not being here. And when we are seeking, when we're on a journey, we're furthering the pattern of not being here, of saying, this present moment, I'm going to dedicate to being happy in the future. If moment by moment, you continue to say, this present moment is dedicated to being happy in the future, you're going to have some samskaras, deep grooves in the brain, reinforcing the pattern of always looking for happiness in the next moment or in a far off moment. So the more we say, I really need to practice, I really need to gain some kind of discipline, I need to purify myself of all of my human traits, and that's going to take decades. The more it will be true. The more we identify as the human, subject to matter, the more we identify as the human, subject to matter, subject to some supposed slow changing of things, the more we close off to the possibility, to the power of awareness to shift whatever it wants in this game. So if we want to play from the perspective of supposed solidity, it will appear that way. Our journey will reflect that. So this is where we get into the seemingly oversimplified idea of just relaxing into this moment. Saying just relax is a very commonplace way of describing what this really ends up being. So at first, maybe we are regulating the nervous system, releasing old traumas, getting to a point that the system is not acting like a cornered animal. We do this by being the love that is needed in this situation. We be that for ourselves. We recognize where we have become that critical voice. Maybe that critical voice was our parents and now it's us, ourselves. So we learn to be that loving parent to ourselves. Heal what you could call the inner child entity of the mind to the point that that's no longer needed. This is where we get into a kind of quantum leap possibility. In this moment, completely letting go, saying that as awareness, nothing is wrong, Nothing is needed. I am whole and complete. I am the love that I have been seeking, or that in this experience has been sought. With that, we go beyond this human mind conjured idea of slow muscle healing, slow nervous system regulation. The irony here, though, is that we also must not be attached to the idea or the expectation that this needs to happen. We simply let go of the idea that anything's required. Fully let go. And if you're saying to yourself, I let go of the idea that anything is required and nothing happens, it's only an intellectual concept. Continue to root out all that is false, and it will show itself to be true. And the more there is a kind of healing of a disconnect between different aspects of experience and reality, the more the body, the experience, will respond to this wisdom being felt deeply. So we're sitting here, the mind is overcomplicating the simplest thing. It's saying, oh, I'm at the edge of this thing, but I just can't jump, I just can't let go, I can't figure out This is a thought. This is a false thought. Who you are has nothing to do with this. Who you are never got tense to begin with. Switch seats. Switch seats, and your reality takes on the traits of who you really are, which are none. No traits. Open, expansive, infinite, everything and nothing. Not in any way subject to the limited ideas of what other humans perceive you to be. This is a vessel with traits attached to it. I'm not that. At some point, this clicks in deeper, and there's a rush of elation, relief, joy that says, I don't have to do shit. Hi, Lena. Oh, good girl. I don't have to impress anyone. I don't have to project my voice. I don't have to appear successful or look healthy or look like a yoga person. Who I am is so far beyond any of that. And these are just mere thoughts. Seemingly obscuring in this illusion my true nature, which is beyond that. Going beyond all requirement, going beyond all appearance, without denying it, without denying the illusion, without brushing it aside. Be in it, but not of it. just being with this one truth, the body starts to reattune, realign, rewire itself. Sometimes so quickly that you realize there are no wires. There could not be wires. There's no real rewiring. It can be instantaneous based on the capacity of this experience to hold awareness, to release the false. So, the idea of a decades-long search is going to yield exactly that. Will it yield a result? That depends on the ability to release, at some point, the idea of a decades-long search. And to allow it to end, to allow the mode to shift from seeking to finding. Finding mode encompasses basically nothing. There's no action to find. There's no action of finding. Finding happens. Knowing happens.